Okay. So, இது முடிச்சது வந்து we finished with this section where அது என்ன உற்பத்தி இல்லையா பாஷா भाषायाः उत्पत्ति अभिवृद्धि च so origin and development of speech how it was originated probably idella theories that are there so there were theories that was proposed and the conclusion there are in the form of 5 sections where prathamatah cheshtita bhasha so it was by actions then you can think of it as geetimayi bhasha in the sense language or music or expressions came out next then the third one is without other words illada expressions was the second one then the third one is where you actually have vyakter vachaya bru vyaktayam vachimo when we say the dhatu for brunya vyaktayam vachi when the words are clear that is when you use the dhatu braviti illana it is just shabdam karoti tatha eva so the third section is when the language became more clear and discernible the fourth one is without any sound your only writing form came in and then a combination of all of these came in and that is the how the language has developed now how did they come up with this sort of a theory what was the basis so you have to look into the meaning and word sambandha the connection between meaning and words and that is how only when they started analyzing the connection between the sounds and the meaning they started coming up with these theories so we are going to go back from the origin and look at the particular theories wherein the sound was attached to the meaning atha shabdartha sambandha शब्दार्थयोः सम्बन्धप्रकारः कथम् इति प्रश्नः समनन्तरमेव समुदेति so if these are एवमेव उत्पत्तिः इति चेत् तर्हि उत्पत्तिः is fine but then कथं तत्र अस्य शब्दस्य अथवा अस्य अर्थस्य पदार्थस्य अयमेव शब्दः उपयोक्तव्यः इति कथं तत्र सम्बन्धप्रकारः जायते इति प्रश्नः उदेति immediately we understand that this is the question that comes up so प्रश्नमिमं बहुधा समादधते shabdikaah so linguists have given different kinds of theories or answers for this question as to what is the connection between meaning and sound so bhasha samanya anukarana moolam iti kechana manyante so some feel that the first theory here is Max Muller's theory bhasha samanyam anukarana moolam just as how we saw in the utpatti origin and development some people feel that anukarana moolam it is imitation that is the source for bhasha samanyam the entire gamut of language mokshamulaha Max Muller asya matasya pravartakaha so Max Muller is the pravartakaha founder of this theory soyam pakshaha puff puff theory cuckoo theory bow wow theory ding dong theory see these are all the different theories that he came up with iti va katyate that's the names of those theory प्रथमम् एतद्विधया अनुकरणसमुद्भूता ध्वनिविशेषाः so एतद्विधया एतद्विधया इत्युक्ते puff puff so when you it is called onomatopoeia so onomatopoeic words na that which are ipo kaakangro tamilla காக்கானு கத்துறதுனால காக்காவா இல்ல காக்கானு பேர் வச்சதுனால காக்காவான்னு ஒரு கேள்வி கேட்போம் நம்ம ரொம்ப வேடிக்கையா கேட்போம் இட்ஸ் a more funny question but actually it comes from the theory called onomatopoeic where the words are assigned because of the sounds that we hear so that is the sound then gives rise to the word அப்படி வருது that is why that's the theory that Max Muller proposed so pratamam etadvidaya anukarana samudbhutaah dhvani visheshaah the sounds were came up because of anukaranam imitation pramana purassaram vicharyamane nayam pakshah slishtah bhavati if we look at the evidence not all words are like that there is no you can't adopt this paksham you can't adopt this theory for the entire English language or any language for that matter Right? Atascha na sudibhihi adaraniyaha. So it is not accepted by people. So when you are asked to write about any of these theories, you can go back to the earlier paragraph and write about the origin and development also with this. Okay? Anukaranam. Whenever, the example of a crow shouting kaka, adu madri, you can give such examples also and write in the exam for this. Bhasha tavat. Now the second is expression of emotions. Bhasha tavat bhavadyotaka dhvani vidhaya eva pramukhe asit. So language started off as pramukhe asit, in the forefront. It was only because of bhavadyotaka dhvani, a sound which is capable of expressing the emotion that is there within. That is how Bhasha stood in the beginning, pramukhe. That is how it must have been. So Sringara, Raudra, Bhayadi, Rasa, Nirbharaha, Purushaha. People are always filled with so many different emotions like Sringaram, Raudram, etc. Purushaha kathanchit dhvanirupenaiva swabhavadikam avishchakruhu. They were able to bring out their emotions only through some sound. Bhaya kopa dyotakaha dhvani visheshaha asmin pakshe antarbhavanti. This is possible. Okay, yes, some of the words came out because of ha, who. Oh, Allah, aha. In the Madri, see, these are words that come out because of the emotions that are there in the mind, and that will cover only one set of words. Yeah. So only the Dhvani Visheshaha, only those sounds which are capable of bringing out fear and anger fall into this paksha, into this place. Kanchidartham, no, idada and kanchidartham nirdeshtum akasmat kanchit shabdam vyavaharati shishuhu. A child may sometimes, we might look at a spoon and keep telling that it is a spoon, but the child may say it is a saucer. Moosh, abdingo, sila samyo. The child will name it differently. So if you go to certain houses, they will say, oh, engatla, in my house, this is what we say, call this padartham. This is what we call this padartham. So probably some kid would have akasmat, out of suddenly kanchit shabdam vyavaharati kanchit artham nirdeshtum. In order to indicate some object, it would have used some other word. Tasmin arthe tasya shabdasya anavaratam ambreditenaiva tattat shabdarthayoho sambandha. So in the same manner, actually, if when it says, it will always double and say amreditam. The child will never say once. Yeah, cup, milk, it will always use it in a double manner. So that became more popular. Tattadartha shaktanam padanam lakshanaya arthantareshu api anuvrittihi. Tattad arthashaktanam padanam, those words which are capable of expressing one particular object or a meaning, tattad artha shaktanam padanam lakshanaya, through lakshana, through secondary meaning, arthantareshu api anuvrittihi, it can go and indicate another meaning also. An example for this is lakshana bhedaha, kushalaha, kusham lati iti kushalaha. One who cuts kusha grass is a kushalaha. But today, when I say saha kushalaha, we are not saying that he wouldn't have even seen darba grass in his life. He wouldn't know how to recognize darba grass from Arugambul. But we will call him kushalaha. What are we saying there? We are saying he is an expert. Because kusha grass is extremely sharp, atitikshnah vartate, yadi vayam lavanam kurmaha tarhi tatra kshataha bhavanti iti. Our hands may get wounded when we try to cut the grass. So, kinchit kaushalyam nipunata tatra kachit nipunata avashyaki bhavati. Tasmat tatra kushalaha iti vadamaha. Now, lakshanaya tatru sarvatra sarveshu api sthaleshu yaha nipunatam darshayati tam prati vayam ayam kushalaha iti vyavaharamaha. So the padam tattad arthashaktanam padanam kusham yaha chinatti tasmin arthe prayuktam padam kushalaha adhuna tu arthantare kevalam nipunaha ayam dakshaha ayam ityarthe upayogam kurma. Correct? So with this is just the meaning and word understanding. Now we go into the Germanic family. Classification of languages. Okay? So Indo Germanic family. Yasmad vamshat Sanskrita, Greek, Latin, Bhashadayaha samutpannaha saha ayam Indo Germanic vamshaha. So this is the language family from which Sanskrit, Greek, Latin, etc. have come. Prachina granteshu ayam Indo European, Aryan, Indo Celtic ityapi vyavahriyate. So it has also been indicated in ancient texts as Indo European, Aryan or Indo Celtic. But these words are not used today. Aryan shabdaha Samskrita bhashataha nishpannaha. It's a word from Samskrita bhasha. Etat shabda prayoge samagrataya sajatiya bhasha udita nasyuhu. When we use the word Aryan languages, Aryan is being a word from Sanskritam itself. See, when you have 515, Aryan is not a word that is found in Greek or Latin or anything. Then we can't use this word to indicate Greek language. So, etat shabda prayoge, Aryan iti shabda prayoge, samagra sajatiya bhashaha tatra antarbhavitum na shaknumaha. Right? We can't include all those. Ayam parasparam atyantam sambaddhaha vamsha antargataha Iranian bhashaha Haindava bhasha eva cha kevalam nirdishati. Aryan can refer to only Iranian Hindu sambandhamana, adavadhu Hindusthanam, Afghanistan, Persian, all those languages can be Avestan. All these languages can be indicated by the word Aryan languages. If we look at Indo-European iti shabda prayoge tu vicharyamane, when we understand, is Indo-European correct? Tatrapi doshaha kaschit pratibhati. Even that word has a mistake in it. Ayam shabdaha Bharat deshe Europa desheshu cha vartamanaha bhashaha sarvaha ekavamsha utpannaha iti imam artham pratyayayet. So it might give us the meaning that all the languages in India and all the languages in Europe are connected or they belong to one family. That is also wrong. Tattvam tu anyatha. The truth is something else. Pashyata Bharatavarshe eva etadvamsha utpannaha bhashaha aryavarte eva prachalanti. So when we look at Indo-Germanic, only in Bharatavarsha you have the languages that have come from Indo-Germanic. Dakshina deshe punaha vyavaharyamanaha bhashaha sutaram Indo-Germanic binna vamsha utpannaha. So if you look at Tamil or Kannada or Malayalam, they, or even Sri Lanka, Ceylonese, the Sinhalese, these have come from a different branch of language. Europe desheshu cha bhinna jatiyaha bhashaha vyavahriyante. Yatha Turkish, Basque, Lapps, Hungarian, Finnish. Turkish la it is a mixture of Persian and Arabic. There is an old Turkish language. There was an intermediary influence of Arabic and Persian into Turkish. Now, I think in 19 or 1800s, or something like that, 1912, they brought back the old Turkish language and they have completely revamped and written a new dictionary to follow the old language, which has no connection to the European languages or the Indian languages or Persian. It's called some Uighur, something else. It is called a separate language tree itself, language family itself. So Basque is also very similar that way. That is why we cannot use the word Indo-European, nor can we use the word Aryan. So we have to use the word Indo Germanic iti nirdeshastu Aryavarta Europa Paschima Bhaga Antargataha Bhashaha Nirdeshtum Upayujyate. The word Indo Germanic is used to indicate Nirdeshtum Upayujyate. It is used to indicate the languages that fall under the category of the Western and Aryavarta. Western Europe and Aryavarta. Celtic Bhashayaha api etadvamsha utpannata jnanat prak एतन् निर्देशस्य उपयुक्तत्वात् तज्ज्ञानानन्तरम् इंडो केल्टिक इति निर्देशः कैश्चित् उल्लिख्यते. See, Celtic languages also seem to have come from this in some way or the other. So there is one branch of languages which are both Indo and Celtic. There is another sect which is Indo and Germanic. Because of the commonalities between those languages, they have given two different family trees, language family trees. Giles mate punaha tanna samyak. According to Giles, this is not correct. Kutaha, why is that? Celtic janaha Germaniyaihi hathat swadeshat nishkasitaha. These Celtics were removed from the Germanic country, Germanic area by Germany people, or Germanic area in generally. Germany nu eduthukodadu. Germanic is more the Greek, Germany, ella and the Dutch and the oru idula irukku. You know, so not Dutch, but it's a different area that they call. So the Celtics were sent away from the Germanic area. Actually, it includes England, ellame undu. German, Greek, Danish, adellame undu. Germanic languages. Okay. So Celtic people were sent out. Tada prabriti Germaniyaihi akrantatvat tad deshastha Celtic gata Germaniya bhasha bhasasya bhasha abhasasyaiva Celtic vyavaharataya Indo-Celtic vyavaharam vihaya Indo-Germanic ityeva alam. So this and the Celtic refers to more like the Scottish area. Okay. So Celtic area ngardu Spain, Scotland, and the madri Spain, Portugal, and then male Scotland. Okay, these are the Celtic areas. So they were sent out of England and they formed an area in Scotland. Spanish Lamu, they were considered as some lower category of people, so they were sent out of that. And those people who remained within the Germanic area, in the map la paakarache da inno ungalku just for understanding, I wanted to show that. இதுலயே விக்கிபீடியால பார்த்தீங்கன்னா உங்களுக்கு இன்னும் கிளியரா இருக்கும். So how they were removed from that area. So these are the Celts. If you look at this, the dark green irukku illaya, the dark green portions are the Celtic portions. If you look at this, these are the Celts area. Adhe if you look at the Germanic area, Germanic region is something which is not that. Adanga. See, it removes your Scotland here. It removes the Spain and etc. here. Yeah, adikta solra. So these are the Germanic area. Anga. So people have moved. They pushed them out of it. Upon what will happen to the border areas where there is a connection still between the Germanic and the Celtic people. Ada pati inge solra. So tada praprati Celtic janaha Germaniyaihi hatat swadeshat nishkasitaha. They were moved out of their area. Tada praprati, from then on Germaniyaihi akrantatvat, because they were attacked by the Germanic people. Tattat deshastha Celtic gata Germaniya bhasha abhasasya. Abhasamna, it is a similarity towards the Germanic language. So there must have been some combination of Celtic and இது எப்படி புரிஞ்சுக்கணும்னா, you go to the Palghat side of Palghat Tamilங்கிறோம் இல்லையா, the Palakkad Tamil is very distinct. If you go closer to the border of Kerala in Tamil Nadu, there will be a mixture of languages between Malayalam and Tamil. There will be shades of it, but that doesn't mean that you can say, oh, Malayalam and Kerala are Malayalam and Tamil are same family descendants. They have different language trees also. They have different sources. So, அந்த மாதிரி புரிஞ்சுக்கணும். அதுக்கு சொல்றேன். Celtic vyavaharataya Indo-Celtic vyavaharam vihaya, because people in that conglomeration area have spoken a mixture of Germanic and Celtic language, they said Indo-Celtic. But we leave that out and we only say Indo-Germanic. Shri Samskrita Bhasha Adhigamanena Bhasha-shastra-praveshini cha samajani susamskritam cha. So Shri Samskrita Bhasha iti, I think they're giving importance to Samskrita Bhasha here. That is why. Only after understanding the Samskrita Bhasha, Bhasha-shastra-praveshini samajani, trying to figure out languages came up only by understanding Samskrita Bhasha. Actually, Panini, there is a linguist by name Noam Chomsky. He mentions Panini because he says Panini is the first and foremost linguist. So Samskrita Bhasha Adhigamanena eva, only by understanding Samskrita Bhasha, they had a ruchi towards understanding the language behind the Shastram of language. Okay. Yada Sir William Jones Colebrook Prabhritibhihi Yada Samskrita Bhasha Europe Desham Anita Tada Prabhriti Binna Binna Bhasha Abhinna Matra Bhasha Prabhava Ityetat Pramanaihi Anugrahitam Abhut. So when William Jones and Colebrook decided to bring in Samskrita Bhasha to Europe Desham Anita Samskrita Bhasha Tada Prabhriti, only from that point of time, Binna Binna Bhasha, there are different languages, ana abhinna matra bhasha prabhava. Each one of those languages have prabhava, have come from a matra bhasha, from a mother language which is abhinna, which is not different. That is, they have come from a common source. Iti etat pramanaihi anugrahitam abhut. So only with pramanam. Now, only when Samskrita Bhasha came in, could we say that there was one common mother language for all of these languages. Iti vaktum shakyate. Seyam Matra Bhasha, this original language is called primitive Indo-Germanic tongue. Tongue nale language nartho. So it's called primitive. Probably because the Vyakaranam ityadikam tu tatra sampurnataya na asit iti karanat tatra primitive iti shabdaha upayujyate. So pramana anugrahitat shobhanat asmat pakshat eva adhunikam bhasha-shastram udabhut. So what we are reading now, Bhasha-shastram or philology, has come from only this paksham, this theory, which is a correct theory, which is a beautiful theory, and also with evidence. Pramana anugrahitat. Duravrittitve sati prachina Europa bhashabhihi sakam sanskritasya sajatyam prachina matasya sankuchitatvam sputayamasa. So, duravrittitve sati, because these European languages are very far removed in geographically. They are very far removed from Samskrita Bhasha. Right? So, Duravrittitve sati, even though they are very far removed, these olden European languages, along with the olden European languages, there is a similarity for Sanskrit. Sanskritasya sajatyam. Prachina matasya sankuchitatvam sputayamasa. Because of this, the ancient theories started shrinking. And the ancient theories we have to let go and then say it is only Indo Germanic languages. Pragetasmat Europe deshe evam abhyupagatam. What was the theories that were adopted in ancient Europe? Other he is returning. Prachina matasya sankuchitatvam muktam chet tatra prachina matam kim iti prashnaha udeti. Tari kim tat prachina matam? Yat Latin bhashadayaha Greek prabhavaha. The Latin languages, not ancient Latin. Latin languages in French, English, Italian, etc. These have all come from classic Greek. Greek prabhavaha iti, there was one theory. Hindu deshe cha bhashantarani gairvanavani prabhavani iti cha. In this Aryavarta, in this Bharata Desham, all languages have come from gairvanavani, which is Sanskritam only. These are the true theories. Anantaram etasmat prachina bhashanam mata duhitr bhavam vihaya samana udara janyataya swasra bhavaha tarkitaha pramanaihi nischitaha cha. Etadrisha disha bhashantarani api antarbhavitani karye punar mahatyasmin yatna adhikyam apekshitam. So, in Europe, Greek was the mother language from which all of the Latin languages had come. In the Indian region, Sanskritam was the mother language, and all of the languages have come from that. Now, these two were Mata Duhitra Bhavam Vihaya. Now, what happened to all of these old languages? They were initially Mata Duhita, mother and daughter relationship. But slowly what happened is that mother-daughter relationship went away, and now we find that they are all treated as sister languages. All of these languages are treated as swasra bhavaha tarkitaha. We understand that there should be a sisterly treatment for all of this because they must have come about at the same time, and we can prove this with evidence. Pramanaihi nischitaha. Etadrisha disha bhashantarani api antarbhavitani. This is how other languages can also be looked upon. Antarbhavitani, they have been included only in this manner into this Indo Germanic family. Karye punar mahatyasmin yatna adhikyam apekshitam. Adad, when there is a big task on hand, the effort to do all this should be really great. So we have to look at what is the criteria to put them under Indo-Germanic languages. Yeah. See, they are taking us very slowly through the process and through history here. How was it before? Max Muller thought that it was just imitation. Then someone said, no, expressions came about. This is how languages came. Okay, suddenly we are jumping into what are the modern languages here. When I look at all of these modern languages, okay, Indo-European language probably is correct. No. There are some European languages which are not similar. Some Indian Aryavarta languages like Turkish, etc. are not similar to Sanskritam. So where do we look at it? They brought Sanskritam to this in the 1600s, 1700s, 1800s. They brought Sanskritam to Europe and realized that these two somehow seem to have a common mother language called a primitive Indo-Germanic. They then came up, earlier they thought that there were only two basic old language, Greek and Sanskritam, from which there were many languages. Now they are looking at all languages as on the same level and same development because they have similar qualities and similar history. Okay. Now we have to look at what is the criteria to put them under Indo-Germanic. There should be some nirnayakam pramana. Okay.